Oh, and we're back. I had to change accessories and do my hair. And we had to pee.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where were we? We were talking about cosmetic surgery, were we not?
Yes, we were.
Okay. And the fact that you hadn't had any.
No.
Right, and that I had this client who had tons of it done.
Yes.
Anyway, so, and I do a lot of research. You know, I don't just run my mouth when I say, hey, Kai, do you want to do an interview with me? I feel crazy. Yeah, so I started reading blogs about you. And I started going on YouTube and watching old footage of you.
Okay.
Okay, and old footage from that glorious show.
Yeah.
And then I found your whole interview you did last year on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
Blowing the whistle, blowing something. You know, blowing the whistle on your experience with the show.
Yeah, the CBS was really good to me, I have to say.
What motivated you to do that?
They asked. I made a little promise to myself that when I felt like I bullshitted the entire world at that finale, when they're like, how are you? And I was like, I like apples, because I was so out of my fucking mind. I didn't make any coherent sense. That once anybody came to me and asked me for an interview from that point on, that I would give the interview and I would be completely truthful. I betrayed myself once. 2020 came to me and asked me to do a special with them, and I turned them down. Because? I wasn't in
it's 2020, for God's sake.
Yeah, I wasn't in a mental place.
Because you wanted to come back here in the back room with me.
I did. I wanted to do this interview.
It's all about me.
I wasn't mentally in a place where I felt like I could handle the publicity again. It had started to fade just a little bit because I'd moved out of state.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, I just want to step away from that. And I want
to be anonymous.
Yeah, I did. And I was so sick to my stomach for weeks after that, after I turned it down. I talked to my older sister, who actually gave me great insight. She's like, if you're feeling physically ill about a decision, it was obviously the wrong decision.
Focus.
So, I didn't
You're so pure. Some people are new. They don't know these things. Other of us were like, oh, that makes me feel like crap. Bad thing.
So it's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So the next people that came to me for an interview after that, and it's going to sound so cheesy, but it was Star Magazine.
Right.
And so I gave the interview to Star Magazine, and that's from there. People keep coming. I'm the only, as far as I know to this point, I'm the only contestant that has said what I've said on camera, because repercussions be damned, it's the right thing.
Right.
And I've had a lot of support, don't get me wrong, from a lot of contestants that have come before me and after me.
Right.
And I get a lot of emails, I get to keep talking, it actually got worse after you were there, keep going, but a lot of people aren't as lucky as I am to be in the financial position to be able to go, really try and get $1 million out of me, a production company. I don't have $1 million, so, eat a dick.
Do you think they'll come after you if you had $1 million?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also think part of the reason that I might have held back on,
There's
writing
where
a
I'm
book.
going.
Yeah, writing a book or do anything like that.
Right.
Is because to put my heart and soul into something like that and to bleed on the paper and put it out there.
Right.
And then have them come and take every fucking penny from it might be too much for me to bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and if you think about that for a minute, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to really have to confront your moralistic side.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it for the, the values of it, or are you going to do it for the money? And both would be great.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to get to a place of, fuck them. Even if they take the money, I'm going to say it.
And
that's a gay thing.
The flip.
Fuck you people. We're going to say it anyway. Kiss my ass. What are you going to do? Take our white picket fence? We can't even get married. So what do I care?
The flip side of that is also with a lot of the negative emails and a lot of the hate. It takes I take a few punches and I'm pretty good at it.
Right.
Sometimes I'm not so good at it, and I'm kind of
right?
Yeah, and I'm kind of so if I put it out there and I bleed on the paper,
it's personal.
Is it worth taking the punches that are going to come back from it? Yes, I get that I haven't decided if the balance is worth it to put it out there and bleed on the paper for that one person that might connect and might understand it, for the 85 that are going to tell me how much I fucking suck.
So, I don't know. I mean, would you think that maybe the one person not committing suicide because they had your, one life, was that more valuable than 85 foul mouths? Do you know how many things I've heard in the world? I used to ride a school bus every single day for an hour, a diesel school bus, back when it was 50 below in Alaska. And I heard every day that, I fucked the dog, I fucked my dad, I fucked all these people because, you're gay. That's what you do. That I didn't deserve to have children, and when I grew up, I'd be a child molester and a pedophile, and blah, 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 blah. And these were coming from junior high age. They were coming from high school aged or other elementary kids because I don't know where they heard it from, right? And that was a reality. I'm not exaggerating that. So
maybe I minimize the importance of the message that I have because it never occurred to me that saying something that I had to say about my experience would stop somebody from committing suicide.
right. I mean, if you think about it, there are people out there in the world that are grasping. I mean, you got to look at it as global, right? The whole global, not just, hi, right here. And, I mean, somebody could really get something from that. And, if NBC went, or if one of those places went the money, we'll edit that. And if one of them went the money, take the money, fuckers. You're going to make yourself look like shit.
When you look at it that way, yeah, it would be worth it would be worth them coming after the money because the money is inconsequential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, blah, 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 blah. I was waiting for this thing to bring up this picture. Okay. And every time I see this picture, I think about it. If you could go back to old Kai, I hate this question, but it's a good question.
I was like, I really thought about it. I've been the same Kai all along, but okay.
Yeah, if you could go to old Kai, right? Good old Kai sitting back there, all tubby, and all dancing around and blah 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 blah. Yeah. What would you say to her?
Don't mail in that video.
That's the first thing out of your mouth. That's all you'd say.
Sorry.
I'm not proud of you, I love you, or I hate your guts, you stupid bitch. I mean, what would you do?
What would I say to myself? Yeah. That sometimes the experience and the chance to tell a really cool story about something you did might not be worth all the repercussions and the long-term stuff. It would probably be a warning, but I would have done it anyway.
Right. And new Kai. I mean, new Kai's not shying away from it anymore. What's new Kai gonna do?
Like if I were in the same situation, I'd do the same damn thing. It's who I am.
Right.
It's so funny. Old Kai and new Kai. I'm the same damn Kai.
So you're linear.
I am. If you talk to anybody that knew me back in high school,
matter then. You're the same person.
No. It matters more to other fucking people than it does me. The funny thing is, and I tell this story to pretty much every adolescent female that I talk to.
Okay.
Okay. So I lived in Cape May, New Jersey, and
now listen up, girls.
I have a bunch of amazing girlfriends from when I lived there. When I lived in Cape May, New Jersey, I happened to be chubby.
Okay.
And I, much like your experience on the school bus, I was tortured every day by this group of boys.
Gotta love them.
Every single day by this group of boys. I don't know what their motivations were. You're adolescent, you're little boys. It is what it is. Like whether they were throwing rocks at me because they wanted my attention or whether they just wanted to make my life hell, I was tortured every single day. So when I lived in New Jersey, I had a perspective that I was an unattractive girl. My freshman year of high school, I moved to North Carolina. They apparently like thick girls in the South, and
let's all move.
I went from being picked on mercilessly to literally being told how attractive I was all the time. And the only thing that taught me, because not a damn thing changed, I didn't lose a pound in that trip.
I'm with you, honey.
And
you gained more, you stopped at every fast food restaurant on the way down.
Yeah, and the only thing that changed about me was my geographical location. That's it.
Right.
And so what I learned from that experience, and thank God I'm so lucky that I learned it at 15 years old.
Of course.
Is that if some person comes up to me and is like, oh, damn, you're so beautiful, or God, you are so fucking ugly, or you're so fucking fat, it doesn't mean shit about who I am. It means not a fucking thing. It means everything about that person and what
it tells you more about them than it does about you.
Thank you. And what they're into. But I was the same friggin' person in New Jersey that I was in North Carolina. So
that you are now in Alaska.
That I am right now, and that's just
so. When you look at this picture, of the before and after, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind?
Because that's a very popular picture on the internet.
Is it?
Yes.
That's funny.
And it has you.
Show this?
Yeah, you can show it. Zoom in, son. Zoom in. Isn't that fun, Mr. Cameraman?
Yeah.
See that when you look at that picture, what comes to mind when you see that?
I see the same girl.
No matter what.
No matter what. I see the exact same girl. And actually the only thing that really bothers me about this whole thing is, and not a lot of people know this story, is I was supposed to be one of the 36 that went home.
Right.
I was in the second string hotel.
Right.
Which we didn't find out till later. And because I was in the second string hotel and some producer somewhere saw me and I said something that made them think, no, keep this girl on the show. Right. I wasn't prepared and I didn't have the right before and after photos.
Right.
So they had to roll up these khaki shorts and shove me in a black sports bra to get my before photo because they hadn't taken me to the professional shoot that everybody.
So you have the worst before.
I do. To the point where Caroline Ray, because what they did in the house, I don't know if they showed this on the show. I'd have to go back and look. they put all of our before photos up around the house.
Right.
You know, like somehow it's supposed to shame us into not eating candy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
No more donuts for
Right?
you.
Like, what the fuck do I care? So my photo looked completely different than everybody else's, and the best part is like they were so unprepared to have me in the cast that there's another point where they put another before and after photo up, and it's from literally one of the weigh-ins. You can see because my ankle's taped because I twisted my ankle, and they had to like cut that shit out and Photoshop me up with everybody else. So that's what I think of when I see that. And when I look at that one, all I think is, God damn, I need a sandwich. I am out of my fucking mind there. I made no coherent sense, and I really like myself better when I'm a little bit articulate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
Same girl.
Same girl.
Same
right
girl.
on. Doesn't trigger anything. I love that.
You know, and I've been told by producers, and I've been told by a couple other people associated with the show, that the one surprising thing about me on the show, and it might be different now because I haven't seen contestants after me, my personality remained exactly the same from when I stepped through that door to when I got on that scale.
Yeah, you're fuck you from the time you walked in.
From the time I walked in.
Fuck you from the time
to
you
the
walked
time I left.
out.
Whereas everybody else seems to go through this whole like butterfly metamorphosis.
Oh, yeah. Chrysalis stage.
Yes, yeah. And
here I am.
I didn't. I was the same smart ass bitch when I walked in as when I walked out.
Did you play the game?
No. That's what's so crazy. I didn't.
It's a game.
Nobody,
Come on, it's a show. It's a game.
It's a game.
Did you play the game?
No. And what's gonna blow a lot of people's minds is I'm one of the least competitive people on the planet. I know, right? You don't believe it at all, but I really am not competitive at all.
Oh no, it's not that I don't believe it. It's what triggers you to be competitive that would scare the hell out of me.
If I ever hit that point,
competitive, I'll kill you. You know, yeah. Poof.
I'll kill you, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I literally kept my head down and just trucked along, and I think that's probably why I made it so far, because people were like, this one's not a, like, there are other women that walked in there that were like, I'm going to be the first female to win this shit, and I more got recruited by production. They're like, you know you can win this. You know you can
because you had a mouth.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, good. Is it good TV? I don't know, you know.
I'm really, really very non-competitive. I don't like, I
looked at some of that footage on YouTube back of you.
Yeah.
You look fairly competitive. Is that acting or?
Like what did I look competitive in? Are you talking like the challenges and stuff?
Yeah, you got competitive.
You know, it was more about, and this is what I'm about a lot of my time. It's part of my core personality. I don't want to let down anybody that's counting on me. So it was about my team counting on me. So it put me in the. But if it was a one-on-one.
So you're a got your back girl. Like if you're on somebody's team, you can count on you to fulfill your job.
I'm loyal to a fault.
Right.
Yeah, and I like if you watch the show and you watch the challenges near the end that are like single person challenges.
Right.
No, I just kind of kept my head down, did my thing. I won one that was a single person challenge, but it was straight up fear.
Right.
Straight up fear, and it was also that I don't want to let anybody in Alaska down. That was the one where they hung me from chains on a plexiglass platform on a spin bike 30 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
I'm deathly
I mean, do they even do that anymore? I mean, you can always tell shows when they're like in the beginning and they're sitting around the room smoking a doobie or whatever they're doing.
Right, yeah.
Let's come up with a new challenge because we're all bored with the show. And next thing you know, they're like, okay, we'll put them up on a spin bike thousands of feet. And there'll be piranha and there'll be blah, 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 and a donut, you know.
The guys that did the challenge for our season.
Like, oh, dude, that sounds great.
They're genius. The guys that did the challenges that arranged them for our season, fear factor.
So what, no bugs for you?
I know, right?
Like, I want bugs and needles.
Yeah. So they did Fear Factor before they did our show. So, but that was the only one-on-one challenge that I actually won, and I won it out of pure straight fear.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm deathly afraid, and so I'm
gonna have to find that. Yeah, we'll put it there. Don't drop me.
I'm crying, literally crying the whole time.
When you get red and everything, you're like, oh.
They had to turn my mic off. They had to turn my mic off because I swore so much that they were like, we can't even, we'd have to beep out everything. So they had to turn my mic off. Yeah,
awesome.
I swore the whole time.
Yeah, I love that. I think that is so much fun. So now you're years past it.
I am. It's been almost 5 years now.
You don't watch TV.
I don't watch TV. I watch like occasionally on like Xbox or something because there's no commercials and like mostly I'm so lame, like animated stuff or like.
What would you say in the end of it all? The end of it all, you know. What would you say it changed about you at all? If you say you're the same person all the way through it.
Yep.
Okay, so it didn't change your personality.
No, this is going to be a really sad answer. I have less faith in fellow human beings, I think.
Speak it up louder, honey.
I think I have less faith in my fellow human beings after that show, which makes me sad. I think that
fellow human beings, like in your personal life and family and friends?
No, my personal life and my family and friends, God, I have some amazing friends. I have people.
I know I am amazing, but whatever.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No, there are people that stuck by me. There are also people that I'm no longer friends with that surprised me. That wanted a piece of whatever they thought I could get for them.
Sure.
And
I know Kai. I know her. I know her. Touch me. Look, I'm better. I know her. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and some of the people that did that really surprised me, but it taught me. I think that I'm a lot more guarded, which I hate that. I really don't like that about myself.
Do you have a bodyguard?
No, I have imaginary walls with snipers and barbed wire that I keep up.
So it made you less trusting of
Yes.
your people around you.
Yes.
Because they're going to exploit you.
Or hurt me.
Yeah, however. Yeah,
Yeah.
emotionally, physically, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, are there any repercussions? Like, are there any crazy fans that chase you around? Are there any guys that, like, want to screw your brains out because you're Kai? I mean, what is there? I mean, besides your husband.
Okay, first of all,
it's like some guy diving over your fence.
If you're a dude that wants to screw me because I was on The Biggest Loser, you need to reevaluate your priorities. Let's
Why
just get
not?
that
There's
straight.
guys out there that like girls with
There
the
was
back,
one.
and they like the big
There was-
boobs and everything.
oh my
Come
God,
on,
there was one guy
It's a
that-
whole fetish, sweetie.
There was one guy that kept insisting that I needed to do Playboy. Like, he was vehement about it, and like I kept getting message upon message upon message. I had to change my email. I was like, all right, crazy.
Oh my God, that just gave me the best idea, though. I think we should do some respectable boudoir shots of you.
I have.
Like, what is it? Like burlesque, where you're not
Burlesque.
hanging it all out there. For God, that's so unimaginative. But, maybe a little skinny poo on a red velvet dress or something, Barry Maryland, or whatever.
Barry Maryland.
Yeah. Hey, I'm hot.
I would giggle through the whole thing. I have a hard time taking myself seriously in anything.
Do you find yourself sexy then?
Sexy's not really an adjective I ever use of myself. I clean up.
Whatever, I'm sexy.
I clean
Shit.
up well. I clean up okay with the makeup and the heels and all that, but sexy's not really.
So without all that, you don't feel sexy at all.
You know what? I think that if I were ever to feel sexy, it's so funny. Sexy. It's like not a.
Kai and sexy.
Not really.
Those two words just roll off my tongue.
No. Would probably be like right after a run. Actually, like nasty and drenched in sweat, and like I did something.
Very pheromonal.
Yeah.
Primal. What's that tell you? It's rawr. See, pay attention. So you don't have any crazy rabid fans?
I had a couple. I had one person that found where I lived, and it only freaked me out because my son was already born.
Yes, of course.
Before my son, it was kind of like whatever, you could deflect it. Because God told her to find me.
Ooh, honey.
So that was scary.
Does she have God's number still?
Apparently, because I've got a couple. I've got a couple things I'd like.
Dear honey, give me your Rolodex.
I want that hotline.
Not that I don't believe in God. That's not the point. I totally believe in God. But I'm like, if you can talk to God, I need the number because hello, I have a few things I want to ask. God.
I need that direct hotline.
Yeah. Hello, sweetie. What should I do? Better than crystal ball.
I have a couple that are still, yeah.
How does that make you feel? I mean, you're more worried about the security of your son, or
My son. I'm not worried about myself. I'm not worried about my husband. He can take care of himself. We had one incident where a guy literally came running at me in the Fifth Avenue Mall here.
Sweet.
And it freaked the hell out of my husband now, who was my boyfriend at the time, because he said he had visions of Tenacious D's skit, The Love Knife. He was so afraid this dude was gonna like come at me and stab me
or
because he loved
something
me
crazy.
so much.
Shit,
Yeah.
right.
And the guy just wanted to come up and tell me that he loved me or whatever. And
Right.
he ended up being a really nice guy, but to come running at me, screaming my name in the Fifth Avenue
Right.
Mall was a bit much. It's interfered with like real jobs, like going to.
Oh, that was another question. I had that question
Yes.
earlier today. I had this question.
Yeah.
One of the questions that came to mind was, so you put yourself out there, you do this big show, everybody has this image of you, or people that know you, and everything we've covered, if you're this kind of a person, blah, blah, blah. How does that help find you, real employment? I mean, so we talked about speaking, blah, blah, blah. But say you go work at the bank, you go work for bricks and mortar job.
I've tried it. I haven't been able to do it yet.
What happens?
Well, when I got right off the show, I couldn't get a job to save my life. I kept getting interviews because people wanted to see who I was. And mind you, it's not like I don't have anything in a background for work. I've got a bachelor's degree in psychology. I've got one in justice, and I minored in English, so I do okay.
Right.
I like to think I'm relatively intelligent.
Gosh, don't tell that. You'll never date another man. I can think for myself. Where'd they go?
Where are they?
Darn.
I read a book today.
Gotta be forlorn, sweetie. More forlorn.
I need to be.
Yeah. Help me. Help me.
Oh, don't even get me off on that tangent. I get so pissed off about that. I get so pissed off.
Okay, focus. Back to
Okay,
your job.
sorry. So I literally, people had either prejudged me from the show, like, oh, she's a raging bitch. And granted, I could be a raging bitch, but judge me because I'm a
Everybody
raging bitch
can.
because you know
Yeah.
me. Don't
Right.
do it because of something you saw on TV.
Right.
Or one thing I really loved to do before I'd actually gotten heavy again when I was still in college was teach aerobics.
Okay.
I've been aerobics certified since, like 2002,
Okay,
2003.
because it's way back.
And for me, and I loved it. But after the show, I couldn't do it. More people showed up to like watch the dancing monkey, and
Yeah. Sideshow.
yeah,
Right.
and to heckle me. And like at least monkeys can throw their shit at you when you piss them off. Human beings can't really do that and be accepted.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
I've been to that party. It's
I've
this
been
little
to that
fetish ball
party.
thing. They do that. Yeah. So,
Every year, it's weird.
we
The
do all
cleanup's
this
kind of
good-
a bitch. So
Logistics. Just get a hose.
logistics.
Hose.
Fire hose.
Yeah, fire hose. All good. That's why it's girls like firemen.
So it made it
Clean
rough.
it up, boys.
And then I decided, when it made it rough to get a job, I decided to work on my master's in social work. And
Good.
my internship, I would go in to work with a client or talk to a client, and then if they recognized me, it just shot everything.
So you weren't just like for some people they viewed you as like, here's this reality queen whore, you know, screaming for fame and getting all this attention and dropping 100 pounds. And really underneath it all, here's this girl with an education. And,
Oh yeah, my
you know.
character. My mom was so embarrassed by my character, and I'm about to be a real petty bitch here. So on my season, there was a couple. The man was married to somebody else, and she had an affair with him on the show because it's an intense situation. It's
Well, and
intense.
it's human beings and you're stuck with each other and everybody gets horny.
Can I tell you all we ever talked about because nobody was getting laid and nobody was eating was fucking sex and food. That's it. Sex and food.
They all go together.
Every conversation.
Let's just have sex in the food.
Every
Yeah.
conversation for 4 months was sex and food.
And then we need a fireman to clean it all up. Just spray it down. Yeah, I'm with you.
But her character that the show gave her was like this, executive and this clean
Yeah,
cut.
blah,
and,
blah, blah.
Yeah, my character, when my mom read it, she was so upset. It made me sound like I was moonlighting at the bush on.
You should.
Yeah.
You know how much money you make? I've always wanted to moonlight at the bush. I could do it. But you know, I have a little friend that does this show at the Crazy Horse, which is also a strip club, and I might go there. Yeah.
So it had.
Always wanted to be
It
pole.
said nothing
Do the
about
pole.
like my education or what
Of
I was
course
working
not.
toward. It was everything about how all I did was party and all I did was this. And granted, I could party with the best of them, but
We're Alaskans. Hello.
thank you. It wasn't.
9 months of darkness and so little time to party.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So it wasn't. It wasn't an accurate representation of what my goals are and who I want to
Did
be.
that surprise you? I mean, did that really surprise you?
No, it amused me actually until I saw the repercussions on my mom.
Oh, yeah. So she's a
Yeah.
good daughter.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
like, a lot of stuff amused me about it. I mean, it is whatever it is until I see the repercussions on my family members. One of the things that really pissed me off during the duration of the show is I have 2 special needs. I have a niece and nephew who are both special needs. They're autistic, and they're amazing.
Right.
And it came up in one of the episodes because my nephew had made an amazing breakthrough.
Right.
And at the time, and I don't know if NBC still does it, they allowed fans to post whatever the hell they wanted under episode clips. And
So without them being edited.
no.
So any words.
And a few internet warriors and keyboard gangsters took it upon themselves to bash the living shit out of 2 special needs babies.
Well,
And that
don't you think that
enraged
goes
me.
back? But don't you think that goes back to the earlier conversation we were having, where it's like it tells you more about the person
Yes.
than it does about you? I mean, so what does that tell you about these people?
Obviously.
You know, it's like, oh look,
But the hurt
you're the
that it-
dingleberry on the balls
Thank
of
you.
society,
Yes.
and if I could have you lasered off, I would, and then torture you, and blah blah blah. I mean,
But the hurt that
because your
it
dick's little.
that
I
it
mean.
resulted in for my sister
Oh.
was too much. And it's funny, up until that point, I let them, I contacted, a couple people contacted NBC and was like, take the fucking message board down.
Hey.
Heather had death threats against her because people were so crazy about this show. Somebody threatened to shoot her in the face.
Oh,
and
it's
she
not
was
beautiful.
like, and she's like, I'm
I've
done.
had that threat.
Yeah, she's like, take that down. Whereas when they asked me, because I was carb deprived and thought I was witty, my response was to quote my prerogative. I'm Bobby Brown. I was like, haters are gonna hate.
I've had that moment, but it's usually after the shoes sell and I'm a little delirious. Yeah.
So-
la 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 la.
Yeah,
Woo!
people are gonna-
I make no sense.
Exactly. exactly. Yeah. And so that was my response to them.
Of course, they'll play that clip 80 times.
I know, right?
She's a drugged out bitch. Look at her. Yeah.
I love that. Everybody asked if I was on meth after the finale, and I was like, my teeth are too good for meth, but whatever. Anyway, so...
You need your nails aisle of 5. Nails aisle 5. File it down.
My teeth are too good for meth,
File
bitches.
it down. Yeah.
I tell you what, it was a competition. I guess if I thought of it, I would have fucking done meth. But anyway, I made them take that shit down. That's the one thing I made them take down.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean, stuff after my sister's
I respect
kids.
that. I think people should respect that. I think if they don't respect that, it's again going to show their character. I mean, I don't know. I think what happens is have you a new respect for people that are in the public eye?
I think I respected them anyway. I have a new respect, I think, for people that are in the public eye without the caliber of fame that they can protect themselves or the money that they can protect themselves.
Right.
Like the Angelina Jolies and the Brad Pitts.
They make money off of it. Give me a break.
A, they make money off of it.
I don't feel sorry for them.
And B, they've got the funds to protect their family and protect themselves. Come on, maybe I'm a cynic, but...
Maybe. You're from Alaska. We're cynics. It's the darkness.
What gets released about them, they've got a lot more control over because they have the money and the power to put forth...
Because it's a business.
Exactly. Whereas the people with reality TV fame,
right,
they can't control it as much.
No.
Yeah.
So let's discuss, I think the only thing we haven't discussed, reality TV fame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. So they come to you, and it's an underlying business, but you're going to be on reality television. I mean, it's reality. Oh my God.
Yeah, nothing
what a bunch
real.
of crock of shit.
Nothing real about it.
But so from the business side of it, and you can't protect yourself, what kind of contract were you looking at, or did they shove in your face?
Did I sign?
Did you sign?
I signed the most ridiculous contract you've ever seen. I had an attorney look at it once, and he was like, here's the deal. You signed away rights that I don't even think you can sign away. He's like, but let's be real. They have 100 attorneys. You can't afford me.
Right.
He's like, you can't fight it. That said, they've threatened to sue me repeatedly.
Right.
And they haven't yet. So maybe they know the contract's not as decent.
Well, I had it explained to me one time because a reality show came to me and approached me.
This. Yeah.
A reality show came and approached me one time. I got this crazy phone call out of the clear blue sky, and they had found me on YouTube for another project that I'd worked on that I had no control over. No, I had control over it. I was a friend of mine, and I did an agreement, and it was a lot of fun. And I get this phone call, and they are just like used car salespeople. Sign. I'm like, wait, I need to read it. So, stupid me. I read it, right?
Yeah.
And then I got even further down into it. One of my clients, who I am very blessed to have, this hair in my eye. Oh, God, girl. God. One little old glass of wine and so little time. No, but seriously, I had a lawyer friend of mine look at it, and she said two things, Number one, you can't tease people, you're going to have to put out, and eventually you're going to have to sign something. And in big business, it's not going to be in your favor. Especially if it's your first time out of the stall. Yeah. I mean, speaking of running fat people out of the gate, right? So if it's your first time, you're screwed. I mean, you have to really look at it and say, well, what's going to happen? The other thing that she said was, if two drug dealers have a deal, because they're called drug dealers, right? And the drug deal goes bad, one can't sue the other in court on a verbal or written agreement because it's illegal behavior.
Yeah.
Okay? So no way can you make legal behavior illegal, right? And or the other way around, illegal behavior legal. So, you have this contract. So maybe it holds water, maybe it doesn't. And it intimidated the hell out of you.
It didn't, actually. I didn't care. And also at the same time, people were telling me, if you don't sign it, there's 200,000 other fat girls in line behind you. And there were,
Right.
And
how did that make you feel, though? I mean, fuck you, sign it, or we're just going to replace you.
It also didn't faze me. Honestly, and maybe my ego is a wee bit out of control, but I was like, you're not going to get anybody like me.
Oh, I've said that. Yeah, sweetie, dine here and move on.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But the contract didn't faze me. One, because I was naive, and I was under the impression, well, nobody's going to treat you as badly as this contract says.
Sure.
And then the other thing is because it sounded fun. I thought it was going to be fun, and so I was like, oh, whatever, just sign it. I didn't understand how much money they were going to make off me. I can tell you that right now.
Silly girl.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,